Hey y'all, thanks for stopping in. So Greg Abbott throws down the gauntlet at Biden over the border war. Texas governor says state has right to defend itself from lawlessness after White House demanded agents be allowed back on the banks of the Rio Grande. This is all on the heels of the Supreme Court ruling that says the CBP has jurisdiction and the state of Texas must remove the razor wire that they had put up to guard their state borders that go along with Mexico. On Wednesday afternoon, Abbott released an excoriating statement that claimed Biden has violated his oath to faithfully execute immigration laws enacted by Congress. He added that he would use the right of self-defense to protect Texas from what he termed an invasion of migrants on the southern border. It is the latest escalation in the worsening row between the Texas governor and the president. Texas has bore the brunt of immigration and continues one of the busiest crossing points in the country at Eagle Pass, which saw 22,000 people enter in 1 week before Christmas. And here's his actual statement. Let's just go ahead and read through it. The federal government has broken the compact between the United States and the states. The executive branch of the United States has a constitutional duty to enforce federal laws protecting states, including immigration laws on the books right now. President Biden has refused to enforce those laws and has even violated them. The result is that he smashed records for illegal immigration. President Biden has ignored Texas's demand that he perform his constitutional duties. Point 1. President Biden has violated his oath to faithfully execute immigration laws enacted by Congress. Instead of prosecuting immigrants for the federal crime of illegal entry, President Biden has set his lawyers into federal courts to sue Texas for taking action to secure the border. Point 2. President Biden has instructed his agencies to ignore federal statutes that mandate the detention of illegal immigrants. This effect is to legally allow their en masse parole into the United States. Point 3. By wasting taxpayer dollars to tear up Texas's border security infrastructure, President Biden has enticed illegal immigrants away from the 28 legal entry points along the state's southern border, bridges where nobody drowns, and into the dangerous waters of the Rio Grande. Which is a very valid point that a lot of people overlook when talking about this subject, in that there are 28 legal entry points along the state's southern border. Safe places where people can legally go and work on entry into the United States. Under President Biden's lawless border policies, more than 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed our southern border in just 3 years. That is more than the population of 33 different states in this country. This illegal refusal to protect the states has inflicted unprecedented harm on the people all across the United States. James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and the other visionaries who wrote the U.S. Constitution foresaw that states should not be left to the mercy of a lawless president who does nothing to stop external threats like cartels smuggling millions of illegal immigrants across the border. That is why the framers included both Articles 4 and 4, which promises that the federal government shall protect each state against invasion, and Article 1 and 10, Clause 3, which acknowledges the state's sovereign interest in protecting their borders. Arizona versus the United States, 567 U.S., whatever, right? The failure of the Biden administration to fulfill these duties imposed by Article 4 has triggered Article 1, Clause 3, which reserves to this state the right of self-defense. For these reasons, I have already declared an invasion under Article 1, Clause 3 to invoke Texas's constitutional authority to defend and protect itself. That authority is the supreme law of the land and supersedes any federal statutes to the contrary. The Texas National Guard and Texas National Department of Public Safety and other Texas personnel are acting on that authority as well as state law to secure the Texas border. And so continuing, it was not immediately clear what steps Abbott would be taking in self-defense, but this week saw Texas officials start to arrest migrants in Eagle Pass before they had a chance to surrender to U.S. immigration agents. The arrests were the first of their kind. Usually migrants, even those who entered the U.S. illegally, are allowed to surrender to U.S. Border Control agents to seek asylum. It also follows the Biden administration on Tuesday demanding that Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton allow federal agents to access Shelby Park in Eagle Pass, where state law enforcement officers have been arresting migrants. They're illegal immigrants. It marked a worsening standoff between the state and the federal government in the town of Eagle Pass. 2 weeks ago, 2 migrant children and their mother drowned when one of them broke the human chain that they were using to cross the Rio Grande into the United States. reiterating the fact that this is a very dangerous journey to cross the river in the place in the manner that they do and everything else that they go through to get to this point. Shelby Park, a local recreation area along the river, is a popular spot to cross and has recently been taken over by the Texas National Guard and blocked with fences, gates, and razor wire. Border Patrol agents were denied access to the park 2 weeks ago after they were told by Mexican authorities that a group of migrants crossing was in distress. A day before the migrants drowned, the Justice Department warned Supreme Court justices that officials in Texas had taken control of Shelby Park and were not letting Border Patrol agents enter. By last Monday, it was clear the 3 illegal immigrants had already drowned, and guardsmen blocking Border Patrol did not change the outcome. The Department of Homeland Security, before the Supreme Court filing, thrust the blame of the incident on Governor Abbott and his handling of the ongoing migrant crisis. In response to a distress call from the Mexican government, Border Patrol agents were physically barred by Texas officials from entering the park, it said. The Texas governor's policies are cruel, dangerous, and inhumane, and Texas' blatant disregard for federal authority over immigration poses grave risks. Well, there wouldn't be such... if people weren't trying to cross the country illegally in this manner, the grave risk would be mitigated, right? If Biden's federal government and agencies weren't assisting in this illegal human smuggling project, then fewer people would be at risk in these type of situations where these folks drowned. It's something that nobody wants to happen, and it's Biden's fault for getting the United States in this situation. And I'll take you back over here to X, where Greg Abbott went ahead and posted his statement. And you can see that it has 44.3 million views, 148,000 likes, and 45,000 reposts. And Elon Musk responded, "Texas is absolutely right. This administration is deliberately breaking law by aiding and abetting illegal immigration at an unprecedented scale. Tim Young, God bless Texas for defending our entire nation." And that's how a lot of people feel, that what Texas is doing is protecting these other states where, the illegal immigrants are being shipped, or however they're getting there. They don't all just stop in Texas. We already know that they've been busing a lot of these folks to New York and Chicago, and both of the mayors in each of those cities have spoken out publicly saying that they don't know how they're going to be able to handle this if it keeps going. I'm pretty sure I saw that the mayor of New York was trying to seize the buses as they were dropping off the loads of migrants, of illegal immigrants. I'm not sure if that actually went through, but I know that he was trying to. And then I came across this post as well over here on X. This is a graphic of states that have put their support behind Texas. And I'm sure this number is not 100% verified, so, take it with a grain of salt, like you should everything you see on the internet, to be honest. But if true, I have officially seen some of these states on paper, or in how we do it now in posts or whatever, express outwardly their support for Texas. There's quite a bit riding on this. You have the federal, CBP, armed, servicemen ordered by the Supreme Court essentially to go take land back from other armed men who have already expressed that they will assert their authority over this piece of land. You'd hope that the federal government would actually side with the people. Their job is to secure the borders, and that's what the people want. And if you agree with that, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.